Welcome to a new episode of the Red Shield of Central Maryland podcast. My name is Sherryn Gaworecki, and I'm here with my co-host, Captain Matthew Tidman from Hampden Corps.
Good morning.
We have some exciting news, events, and opportunities coming up, and Captain Tidman has news about Hampden Corps and interesting facts to share about how the Salvation Army in Baltimore has impacted parts of the world. So let's get started. At the Salvation Army today, specialists from Medmark are stopping in to provide Narcan training for our staff. Much of our staff is in contact with clients and people who are affected by our nationwide drug crisis.
Sherryn, what is Narcan for people who might not know? I know that a lot of people are aware of that, but it's something that we use to help people that are overdosing, right?
It's a preventative measure when you come across someone who's overdosing. And without that life-saving measure, they'll have an untimely end.
So it's one of those ways that we're really helping people who maybe they've gotten themselves into a bad situation, need a little bit of extra help, right?
Yep, and at the Salvation Army, we're here to help everyone and anyone. Doesn't matter your background or your situation. So we are excited about the training.
Yes, absolutely. I know I'm looking forward to it.
Same here. So it's not too late to register a foursome or participate in our PlayMore FeedMore Golf Tournament. We're raising money to expand our FeedMore mobile canteen program to provide over 100,000 meals next year for our Baltimore City street homeless. The need is growing, and we want to give love beyond hunger. So please visit our website, www.sa-md.org, to register. And Captain, aren't you excited?
I'm super excited. I'm ready to get out there. My handicap is really bad, so it's not going to be a winning opportunity for me, but it's definitely going to be an opportunity to have some fun, just whacking a golf ball across those greens.
I think you'll be winning regardless because you'll be feeding people. All the money you're raising is going to feed so many people next year.
That's true. It doesn't matter who wins the actual tournament because we're all going to be winning by providing these services for people.
Speaking of winning and helping people, if you are a senior above the age of 65 and you are in need of free food delivered to your home, you can sign up to be a part of our commodity supplemental food program by calling Meals on Wheels at 410-876-9358. If you are interested in volunteering for our CSFP program on the weekends, you can register by emailing our volunteer coordinator, Samantha Bowman, at samantha.bowman@uss.salvationarmy.org. It's a great way to meet new people. You feel you're doing good for 2 or 3 hours of your time. Plus, you get leadership skills. It's a win-win.
Absolutely. Whether you need the help or whether you want to help, it's a great opportunity. And we're happy to have anybody come alongside us that wants to.
Exactly. So if you want to learn more life skills, if you're want to learn more about disaster preparedness, handling a budget, and cooking, then you can sign up for our free life skills class by visiting our website, www.sa-md.org. Just click on the page. You can register. You can take as many classes as you want. Knowledge is power.
Wait, you said that's free?
It's free.
What?
It's free.
That's great. Let's
do it. Join. Aside from volunteering and learning new skills, are you looking for a fun family event next week? Are you looking for a fun family event next week?
Totally, always.
Are you looking into changing your life for the better with this fun family event? I highly recommend you all come out to the Salvation Army of Carroll County's Community Resource Festival on May 6th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. This is a free opportunity to get resources on mental health, addiction, education, and family support. Plus, this is a great way to go shopping. There's a flea market. You can get excellent gifts for Mother's Day. They have baked goods, delicious treats. There's a free kids area where kids can go on the moon bounce, play outdoor games, arts and crafts, you name it. It's a win-win. This is a great event before Mother's Day, plus you can get that last minute shopping in. Oh, one more really cool tip. Are you into thrifting?
Sometimes, yeah.
Well, there's a special thrift area where you can fill up these bags like for just $10, as much clothing as you want.
Wow.
It's a huge discount.
That is huge.
And it's really nice stuff. So we highly recommend you come to the festival. It'll be fun.
Absolutely.
Now, Captain Tidman, what's new with you? What's going on with Hampden Corps and the world?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on today, Sherryn. I love talking about what's going on. Things are moving on at Hampden. We're excited. We had our annual dinner last week where we celebrated people who have been a part of our men's and women's ministry over the past year, and also people who have helped out with what we call community care ministries. It's an opportunity where we go into nursing homes, we go into shut-ins, and we basically say, you're remembered. We share with them basically the Salvation Army, some literature that we share, a magazine that we put out on a monthly basis called The War Cry.
Oh, nice.
And it's an opportunity to go and talk to people, many of them who may have been forgotten or just left there by their families. And so we really wanted to praise our volunteers that have helped us out with that program during last year. And so we just had our annual dinner last week. And this upcoming week, we have a really exciting program that we're getting ready to do.
That's exciting, and that's so kind. So tell me more. There's shut-ins, people in nursing homes who don't get out, so the Salvation Army's there to bring conversation and some light and some good energy. Yeah,
and it's one of those things where I dealt with a person who they were homeless once as I was working as a Salvation Army social worker. And it's really hard because a lot of times when people go to nursing homes, they don't have good experiences. We all know that there's some good nursing homes, some high dollar nursing homes, and then there's some that are not as good. We'll put it that way to ruffle any feathers. And so sometimes when people have to go to nursing homes, that's kind of like the end in their mind, and they feel like they lose some of their dignity. And this is an opportunity for us to say to people, you may be older, you may need this kind of assistance, you may need this kind of care, but you're still a valuable and wonderful person, and we want to respect that and we want to honor that. And so it just gives us an opportunity to come in and talk to people and say, hey, how are you doing? What's going on? And to say, hey, we care about you and we want to see you do well, even in this stage of your life.
Doesn't that say everything? It may be just 1 or 2 hours of just a personal interaction, but it means the world to someone who needs it, because isolation is a big thing. A lot of people are isolated from the world and they need human touch, human interaction, and prayers. And that's what Hampden Corps is providing often for anyone and everyone.
Particularly coming out of COVID, this was really hard during COVID, because during COVID, all of those kinds of locations were shut down. As much as we wanted to go into them, we couldn't, because we wanted to make sure we were keeping everybody safe. And who was one of the most damaged by the COVID epidemic? It was our elderly. And so it was very important. But now that things have started to open up, we're starting to be able to go back in. And we're always looking for people that want to come and help us with this ministry, because this is a great opportunity we have to minister to people that otherwise may not be able to get out of the shelter, the nursing facility they're staying in.
If you're watching, if you want to do some good, if you want to help your elders, contact Captain Tidman to be a part of this ministry, because this is wonderful. It's beautiful. I feel touched. Like you're basically like you're helping your grandparents, your parents, because we're all a community in the end of the day. So contact Captain Tidman to be a part of such a great ministry.
Absolutely. And another great ministry that the Salvation Army has is the Salvation Army is an international organization. We focus a lot about what we do in Baltimore, and that's proper, because we are in Central Maryland. We're the Red Shield of Central Maryland. We're trying to do things that are going to help out people in the Baltimore and the extended area around Baltimore. But the Salvation Army does so much more than just that.
It's worldwide.
Worldwide.
We're everywhere. There's a Red Shield everywhere.
Almost everywhere. There are a couple of countries where we may not be able to get into because of differing reasons, but for the most part, the Salvation Army is pretty much everywhere. You would think that the Salvation Army is just a United States thing. Well, we started in England, and we've gone all over the world at this point. My parents served as missionaries for the Salvation Army in Russia for 7 years, and so. You think about that, it's the Salvation Army is all over the world. One of the things that we do in the Salvation Army is, while we don't do it as much in the US, in third world countries, in developing countries, in those kinds of places, we will often do things like run children's homes. And particularly in our Mexico area, we run several different children's homes for people who either they are orphans or they're children whose parents can't really afford to take care of them. And so we provide a place for them to grow, a place for them to be nurtured, a place for them to receive regular meals and education. And that's one of the things that we do in Mexico, particularly. And the Salvation Army in the Southern Territory, which is everywhere from all the way up here in Maryland, all the way down to Florida, and then over to Texas. If you look at that triangle, we all kind of have a soft spot in our hearts for these children homes. We want to make sure that they're succeeding and growing. And our women's ministry has really stepped up and said, this is something we want to support. And so that's kind of bringing what I want to talk to next, because we have a fundraiser coming up that we want to raise. We're looking, it's just $1,000 is all we're trying to focus on making. It's 1,000. It's not like we're looking to raise $1 million. We're not looking to raise 10 million. We're just looking to raise $1,000 because $1,000 can go really far when it's going to support these children's homes in Mexico. And we figured, what better opportunity to do something revolving around Mexico than Cinco de Mayo?
It's a win-win situation. It's a win-win fundraiser.
You know, we're celebrating Mexican independence, but we're also celebrating the fact that we're giving these children basically a future. We're giving them the opportunity to continue to grow and continue to do more. And so the fundraiser we've got coming up is going to be on this Wednesday at our Hampden location. We have a couple members of our church that are going to be making traditional Mexican food.
So May 3rd, what time?
May 3rd at 6 p.m. at our location. So right at dinner time, they're going to be doing tacos. They're going to be doing, I believe they said enchiladas. They're going to be doing rice. They're going to be doing beans. You know, all of your things you think of when you think of going out to Mexican. And, you know, you go to a Mexican restaurant here in the area, what are you looking to spend? Probably what, $15 per person if you're going to a good one, right? We're getting the same quality food for $10 per plate.
That's a steal.
It really is. And maybe you want to, but you've already got dinner plans that night. Maybe you want to, but you know you're going, well, that's on the 3rd, not the 5th, and I really want to celebrate on the 5th. That's okay, because you can order ahead of time. We'll prepare everything, and then all you have to do is heat and serve it to yourself on the 5th. And so we're doing this opportunity for you to take home. If you come and you eat and you really like your meal and you want another one, we can back up a doggy bag to take home for another one. And so, you know, it's this opportunity we have. Yeah.
You can also freeze the food.
Absolutely.
And have Cinco de Mayo every day.
You could. I mean, if you wanted to buy 100 meals, we would not stop you from that.
Nope.
But we want to do this because it's an opportunity to do that ministry that we have of supporting this children's home. And so if you're interested, 6 p.m. this Wednesday, you can also email me. It's matthew.tidman@uss.salvationarmy.org, and let me know if you're interested in buying a meal to maybe be held for you so you can pick it up later, or a meal that you can have delivered to your place of business. We're going to work through doing that as well, but we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to support that, but also bringing some awesome food to people right now.
So let's just recap. Basically, you buy one meal, and what happens with the money?
So the money that is raised from this, 100% is going towards our Mexico Children's Home Project, which is going to support this children's home in Mexico. All of the food is being donated for this. All of the labor, all of the cooking time, all of that stuff is being donated by our men's and women's groups. And so 100% of the money
100%.
that's for this specific fundraiser is going to go to Mexico.
So when you raise $1,000, how many? This is going to help how many children? Hundreds of children.
It's going to help hundreds of children.
Hundreds of children. $1,000. That's it. $10 meal. It's really not that much, but think about how many people you'll be helping overseas who need our help, who don't have families, who need that love. So you should come. It'll be fun too, and everyone's awesome, really.
Yeah.
Good company, good food. You'll have a great time. It's a win-win situation.
It absolutely is, and we'd love to have you come and join us. So please, if you're interested, don't sleep on this, because this is not something we're going to do every week. This is a once a year kind of thing. So make sure that you're there if you want to be part of it.
That's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else happening with the Corps? Any facts that you may know that we don't know about the Salvation Army?
This is one of those things where you might say, well, how long has the Salvation Army been helping out in other countries? Well, we've been doing it since almost the beginning. Did you know that the Baltimore Hampden Corps actually helped heal soldiers during World War I and World War II? Yep.
So many of the soldiers served as grave identifiers.
Mm-hmm.
They served as nurses. They were there on the battlefield healing the soldiers. And some of the most famous donut lassies were from Hampden Corps.
Absolutely. We're coming up on National Salvation Army Week. It's going to be in just a couple of weeks. And one of those big things that the Salvation Army did during World War II is we provided donuts to soldiers who were getting off of the ships. And, you think, well, donuts, that's not a big thing. It was a huge deal. It's still something that veterans and families of veterans still remember the Salvation Army for, is because we were offering kind of a taste of home to people that otherwise were very far away from home.
So we offered free coffee, free donuts, free prayer, free everything.
Absolutely. We were always in the Salvation Army interested in the whole person. We want to make sure that you are spiritually healthy. We want to make sure that you're physically healthy. We want to make sure you're emotionally healthy. And all of the programs that we do kind of address these different parts of things, because we want to make sure that we're helping the whole person with every single person we come in contact with.
Being a part of the Salvation Army is a holistic process, and it's awesome. Plus, where do you think Donut Day came from?
Yeah, when you're celebrating National Donut Day?
You need to thank us, not us, but the Salvation Army overall for this wonderful holiday.
Which is also coming up, isn't it? It's just
June 2nd.
June 2nd. So that's something to look for. I'm sure we'll talk more about that when we get closer to June.
In excruciating detail, because who doesn't like a donut?
But more recently, the Salvation Army is always involved in disaster work. We recently served in Baltimore. I say recently, it was a couple months ago now, but when we had the problem with the tainted water, the Salvation Army was there handing out.
I was found in some water supplies in parts of Baltimore City, so we all came together. We teamed up with Royal Farms to provide 4,200 gallons of water to 2,000 households.
And the Salvation Army is helping out with disasters all the time. Just recently, one of our officers went to, was it Mississippi where the hurricane issue was? We had one officer just recently get back from doing disaster work. But, we're always looking to help train more people in disaster work. Salvation Army has a very large disaster preparedness training program. We have a disaster volunteer program. And so if you're interested in being a part of the Salvation Army's disaster response team for Baltimore, we're looking to do more trainings and more kind of preparing, because it's easy to prepare when the disaster is not going on. It's not as easy to prepare in the middle of a disaster, is it?
I recommend contacting Captain Tidman to be a part of the disaster team, because you can do your part right here in the United States when disaster strikes.
And, we are always looking for people to come alongside us and help, because I'm one person. Sherryn, you're one person.
I'm one person.
I mean, sometimes you do the work of 4 or 5 people, but
Too nice.
But
same with you. You're doing like 10 different things all at once.
It's all the different hats you have to wear sometimes.
To wear a lot of hats.
Yeah. But we're all individuals, but when we come together, we can do something that is much greater for not just our local community, but our extended community, and even around the world, we have opportunities to serve.
Exactly. So on that note, we hope you have a great weekend and tune in with us next week.
Absolutely. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.